Hey, this is Jim. It's 11:12 a.m. in San Francisco, California on April the 27th. Please note that all discussions, analysis, and information presented are for general informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial or any other form of professional advice. So I want to start with a quick view of my 24-hour model. So this basically just encompasses all these are 5-minute trading bars, but this encompasses the entire cash session, the day session, as well as the rest of the after hours trading activity. So after the close of the cash market, and then everything closes for a while, and then it reopens into the AM hours prior to the open of the following day. So this captures all that information. So here's the window. We're tracking really nicely directionally, but there's just they just still have this ability to crush velocity. And so obviously what they're trying to do is prevent price from moving above that 575 Anemoi weekly trigger. Anemoi is, built off of different algorithms that I've figured out that are run by the biggest institutional investors, and you tend to see buy and sell program activity around and through those triggers, especially if velocities are already pointing in the direction of the trend. Meaning the direction price is breaking through a trigger, either up or down. So here's our best window of opportunity here to see a breakout above today's session high. You can see the session high was $5.56, trading at $5.39 here while I'm making this video. But you see this note up here. This is a 427 at 11:50 p.m. PST. So this is West Coast. This is my time. You guys add 3 hours if you want to New York Stock Exchange for the East Coast. And the window opens at about 11:50, and then it closes at about 7:15 a.m. tomorrow on the 28th. But during this entire window right here, this is based on everything I know about markets. This is our best opportunity for price to not only break out above the session high, but to start to get away from these guys, especially if we can see some kind of news after hours. For the past 2 years, we've literally never seen any news, any constructive bullish news released by the management team during regular hours. The best way to keep these guys on their heels, meaning the predatory hedge fund shorts, the best way to do that would have been and is to be a little bit unpredictable. But unfortunately, we have a management team that's not unpredictable in any way, shape, or form. For whatever reason, they refuse to ever release any positive news during the cash session. So again, starting at 11:50 through about 11:50 today through 7:15 tomorrow, I'll show you. This is our window. You guys can see sort of the blue sky up above. This is what the 5-minute looks like that I've been reviewing with you guys. I've added a little bit of other information here. So this is starting to become a little bit hard to understand unless you rewind the video and take a hard look at it, pause it. But this yellow line represents the front end of this lift window. So that 11:50 timestamp, again, AM PST. After price passes on the other side of this yellow line right here, that's our best shot to break above this 575 Anemoi weekly trigger. You can see now how this uptrend line that represents the bottom end of our expanding megaphone melt-up fractal is also corresponding really nicely during this window with that Anemoi weekly trigger. So what would happen here is if we can move above that 575 level, we not only pick up the velocity that's typical with buy program activity going through one of the Anemoi triggers, but also that would be re-entry into the expanding megaphone melt-up fractal, and we could start to really take off. I've added 2 pay me later levels that are based on this aborted re-entry right here above this secondary uptrend line within this expanding megaphone melt-up fractal. So again, if you guys are new to behavioral analysis, we just simply take a look at where price would have headed if it were to have attacked the secondary speed line or the primary speed line on that reentry. So you just go straight up wherever that collision is. That creates the pay me later level. In this case, our secondary speed line would have created collision at $6, and the primary speed line would have created an attack of the $6.87 level. So again, those become PML, just stands for pay me later. You know, you can either pay me now or pay me later. It sounds a little smart ass. Again, these are all a lot of this, the phrasing and the terms and all of these other things that you see within behavioral analysis was all created just for my own use, and I never intended to share it publicly. And so once I had learned everything, as far as the vernacular, I didn't want to change it because I didn't want to make it harder on myself. And as a result, some of this stuff sounds kind of like overconfident or smart ass. But those are pay me later levels. You guys know already that we had this 795 retest on the board coming into this zone of strength. And then we've got, of course, this 823 Anemoi monthly trigger if things were to start to run. This is the very well-defined window here. This is our best shot at breaking that high. And then you can see these red lines here. These are zones of weakness that have been generated by this algorithm that they started to run right here. So this algorithm that they ran to reject any possible move above this very important weekly trigger at 575 creates timestamps and zones of weakness as it runs. And so basically, that's what you see represented here, 8:05 tomorrow morning and about 10:15 tomorrow. So those are both AM PST. We have a retest down at 520. If they don't hit that level in front of this lift zone here, which again spans from 11:50 AM PST today until 7:20 tomorrow morning on the 28th. If 520 is not hit here and they're able to prevent price from breaking out and running above 575, then most likely this is where this algorithm's trying to force price, and they're gunning for that $5 strike on options expiration Friday. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know that I'm at a disadvantage on Fridays because everything about my behavioral analysis model is based on human emotion, and everything gets really mechanical on Thursdays and Fridays now that we have weekly options expiration. It used to only happen one time per month, third Friday of every month on options expiration, but now I have to deal with it on a regular basis. And believe me, it's where the fund that is our number one enemy. This is where they make all their money, controlling the options market and stealing money from people through options chain manipulation. So basically, it's the tail wagging the dog. Anyway. What's interesting about this zone of strength here is that it also encompasses after hours trading, obviously. And so if there were to be some news released after hours today, the stock could immediately just scream straight up toward any of these levels there. So that's what that looks like. Nothing new to mention as far as volume, rather. We had our key volume print that we wanted to see, the 11.8 million shares on a green closing bar. And since then, you can see pretty subdued volume. So if we get lucky here and we see some kind of news after hours today and a run, then I would imagine we'll see a really nice volume bar tomorrow morning right out of the gate. And what we really want to see is we want to see a continuation of these volume spikes. And when we do exceed 11.8 million shares again, whether it's tomorrow or sometime next week, we want to see that exceeding volume on another green bar. We don't want to see 11.8 million shares or greater on a red bar close. That would not be constructive and would indicate that we're just stuck in the mud here for a while longer. I did generate a new zone of strength early Monday morning. So even if they're able to hold price down later today and tomorrow. I still have a zone of strength early Monday morning that looks like it could lead to a breakout above our 575 level. Also, next week, that weekly trigger will drop slightly from 575 to the high 560s, somewhere in there. That's it from my side. Good luck, you guys.